Now you may, this is a slightly different topic, but it's related. You may have heard about this, I don't know, but some states, first it was Connecticut, but also several others, their legislatures decided they needed to make a law that required doctors to tell women if they have dense breasts. In doing this, it may increase the demand for additional tests beyond mammography, such as bilateral whole breast ultrasound. Now, a funny thing about this law is it's going to tell the women, it will require doctors to tell the women with dense breasts that they have dense breasts, but we don't really have a definitely good other thing to do with those women. What are we going to do? Do MRIs on all of them? The strange thing about it also is that this law will probably cause radiologists to earn more money. It can cause us to do more tests and more imaging, and yet most radiologists are opposed to these laws because we feel like maybe it's not so appropriate that people in legislatures decide what doctors should tell women, because these laws will go on the books, and then time goes by and science moves on and makes the law sort of irrelevant to some extent. So, as I told you, whole breast ultrasound is a problem because it depends on having enough technologists to even do ultrasound, and there's 5 times more false positives than with mammography. So that's a difficult solution as well. And for example, when Connecticut passed their law, they ended up reporting that they did 935 women who had dense breasts. They did 46 biopsies, and they found 3 cancers, which was good. They were small cancers, but the false positive rate was 93.5%, which is really high. And of course, it costs a lot of extra money to do extra imaging tests. There is a machine out there that does automated whole breast ultrasound that is being sold, and some places are buying it and doing whole breast ultrasound on patients. So you may see some of this come to you also. And it's still a little bit unclear whether we should do these or which patients we should do these on and how much money we're all going to spend to be doing this. Another technology I briefly discussed with you is contrast-enhanced mammography, where you get a mammogram and they inject you with iodine contrast material like a CT scan. And very early, and there are very few studies on this, but it suggests that it could be a lower cost, similar examination to MRI. So maybe this could put MRI out of business and be a whole lot cheaper for all of us. We don't know, we'll have to see. But here's some images from publications. This woman had a cancer right here on the mammogram, which is absolutely undetectable by anybody. You can't tell that it's there. And they did this contrast-injected mammogram, and here it is very well seen on the contrast-injected mammogram. And she also had an MRI that shows it as well. So this is showing how this technique might be a cheaper way to get something as good as MRI. But we don't know. That's going to have to be tested more too. So in summary, we've done a lot of scientific studies on mammograms, and like a few million women have been studied with regards to mammograms, and we have a lot of science on it. With digital mammograms, we've studied quite a lot of women, about 100,000. Now, of course, we've done a lot more imaging than that, but of course, if we take scientific studies, the ones that have been published, about these many women have had publications on the results. MRI, not that much. Just high-risk patients and cancer patients have been studied, and only about 20,000 really well studied. This new technology, DBT, less than 15,000 women have been studied so far, so we only know a little bit about it, and it's even less with whole breast ultrasound. Less than 5,000 women have results have been reported with that. So let's look at it this way. If we think about mammograms and include digital mammograms, mammograms are really like the rolling stones of imaging. They've been around for a long time. They're old, but they're still good. In fact, I thought of this because my daughter and her husband went to a Rolling Stones concert in Los Angeles this week. She's 38 years old. And I said, how did you like it? It's not your kind of music. She said, no, it was great. It was super awesome. He jumped around on the stage, and he's 70 years old and looked like he was 28. So, MRI, this is like the Bruce Springsteen of imaging. Not so old, but getting old, but pretty good. DBT is like Maroon 5, really the new guy on the block, that's for sure. Is it going to be enduring? Is it going to replace the old stuff? Well, maybe. Finally, I decided to use Adele to help us sound really new, seems pretty good, but not so sure how that's going to pan out either. The new breast imaging technologies are really in their infancy. Which one will be added to or replace mammography is still yet to be seen. So that's the end of my slideshow. We'll go back to Michigan now and see if y'all have any other questions. And we're doing some research studies with it, but so I did my first one with a digital mammogram and the DBT, and then the second one just the DBT. I wanted to just check on something, but it was all fine, and it was good. Oh, great. Well, I'll see our mammogram van that goes around here in Denver. Right now, I think the last I heard, they weren't sure about if they were going to be able to put this DBT on a mobile unit, because you know how that head moves, like I showed you, the top of the mammogram equipment moves from right to left, and I think they're nervous about putting it on a truck and having the equipment get jiggled. So I think they don't know for sure if they are going to use it to equip trucks or not. We'll see. Thank you. This is Noelle. I just am wondering if you have any feedback or have heard how insurance companies are responding to the new technologies. Are they covering them the same they would as the traditional mammograms? Or? Yeah, that's a good question. So right now there is no different code for this new technology. So insurance companies are only paying what they normally pay for a mammogram. And in some instances, some radiology groups have been trying to charge patients an extra fee. Like they have said, okay, and so for an additional $100 that your insurance won't pay for, we can do this new technology if you want. So I heard that some were doing that, but it was not very well accepted by patients, so they kind of just threw up their hands and said, okay, we're just going to do it to everybody and not charge patients extra. So I would say don't pay extra for it, just hope that your insurance will pay for the mammogram. That will happen for sure. But don't get roped into paying extra for this, like as an advertisement, like pay a little more and get the special thing. You're going to get the special thing anyway, eventually. Well, that's good to know. That's my opinion. Okay, I found the website for the breast cancer advisor, and so here it is. If anyone can make out the top of it at the top of the screen.
Can you just copy it and put it in an email to?
I'll do that.
Because we used to have the the penny game, the bingo, the provider detective, and the patient detective all in the same location, and I haven't been able to get to any of them yet.
Okay, maybe somehow they moved. Now this game right here, the breast cancer advisor, you have to have Flash, you have to have Adobe Flash player on your computer or it doesn't work, unfortunately. So it won't run on iPads, but it will run on most computers. And here's the breast care bingo game. Okay, putting this in an email to you.
Great.
And
And I'll forward this email to everyone who's on the call so that you'll all get these links for your programs.
Okay. Yeah, then you'll have something to talk about with women when you get them all together in one spot. Okay, well, I'll finish this email a little bit later. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, any other questions or comments for Marilyn? Marilyn, this is so helpful for all of us. Everyone on the call is working with community members and trying to make certain we're giving everybody the most current and accurate information, and this is invaluable. We really appreciate you taking time from your busy schedule and from your patients to help us.
Well, you're welcome. And so other things, like if people start talking about PET scans, that's only for cancer patients, and it really should only be for certain cancer patients. So you have to be careful about things that you haven't heard about very much that people are talking about. They may not be relevant or important. Okay? So
good point.
That's pretty much there's some other things coming along, but a lot of it is just still very new, and we don't know very much about it. If I haven't talked about it, then it's so new, not much is known. Okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck, everyone.
Thank you all. Thank you all for taking part.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.